We're less than 2 weeks away from the February 25th primary election in Rockford, and one of the seats up for grab is for City Council's 5th Ward. WIFR News reporter Anthony Ferretti talks with the 3 candidates who took time to meet with voters Thursday evening.
Candidates with the most votes for each party advanced past the primaries, but this is not the case in the 5th Ward, as all 3 are on the Democratic ballot, meaning the primary winner is almost certainly going to win the seat.
I want to keep the momentum going.
People want their voices to be heard.
I believe that I have a unique skill set.
Residents of Rockford's 5th Ward spend time meeting the candidates campaigning to be their alder for the next 4 years.
I have delivered results for the community. You know, I'm not just talking about what I can do.
Since being elected in 2021, 45-year resident Gabrielle Torina helped secure more than $400 million to revitalize Coleman Yards. She says they've done good things, but there's always more to do. This includes addressing affordable housing and keeping our safety numbers down.
I want to keep strong leadership over here, and I just want to keep serving our residents. At the end of the day, I think that no matter who wins, we should all be helping each other.
One of Torina's opponents is Virgil Hobson. The Rockford native says he's running to be a voice for the people.
Their calls and their concerns fall on deaf ears.
Hobson says if elected, he'll prioritize boosting small businesses in the ward and empowering the younger generation by increasing youth programming.
Hopefully we can continue to make a difference to make our, not just the 5th Ward stronger, but our whole community stronger.
Christopher Williams is also making his case. He was born in Mississippi and raised in Rockford. He says his campaign is centered around the residents.
In order to have a strong community, you got to have strong people.
Williams says he feels the 5th Ward is often overlooked and believes there's gentrification in our neighborhoods, which he says can be a good and bad thing.
February 25th, the citizens of the 5th Ward, they have a decision to make. They can either be a participator or a spectator.
The primary elections will be Tuesday, February 25th, and the last day to mail in ballots is 1 week from today.
Thank you, Anthony. And if you are interested in hearing more from the candidates, their full interviews are on our website, WIFR.com.